Alright, what's going on? Sifted YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all the social media peeps. Tonight I am playing Geometry Wars 3. I did post up a Twitter poll, but only 4 people voted. And I think I know who you 4 motherfuckers are. That being said, 2 and 2 voted, so I had 2 options, either play Geometry Wars 3 or the Atari Vault. And 2 voted for Geometry Wars and 2 voted for the Atari Vault, so I went with the first option, which is Geometry Wars 3. I actually did a dry run earlier in the week I was playing, and the goal was basically to go into Classic mode and either do Deadline Classic or Evolve Classic. And I thought, well, I'll probably do Evolve Classic because that's just 3 lives. There's no timer on the round. I was at 3 million something, and I was like, all right, as long as I get over 3 million, like, look, I should be able to, maybe beat that score when I do it live and actually record. Unfortunately, I bested myself and doubled my score, and now I'm at 6,209,000. The goal is going to be to try to get past that score, but I honestly don't know if I'm going to be able to fucking do it, but we're going to try it. Not drinking anything fancy tonight, just a regular old PBR, standard go-to beer. So let's try it. You may notice there's no music on the Geometry Wars 3 because I am playing Truck Fighters in the background. The reason I'm playing Truck Fighters in the background is because I'm going to go see them tomorrow night. My buddy actually bought tickets for both of us. And, very cool. They're a Swedish band, doom, stoner rock. And I don't think I've ever heard of them even playing in the United States. So this is kind of special. Not only are they playing here in Vegas, but they're playing at a place called the Dive Bar, which is notorious for having a lot of classic punk acts. It's a very informal venue, definitely a bar setting. You can get really close to the stage. It's very loud. It's a pretty good venue to see like punk acts and things like that. I've seen Agent Orange there 2 or 3 times. I want to say that I can't remember the other. There's like the UK Subs or somebody came through, and my buddy was all excited about it. He's like, "Oh my god, we gotta go see him." So we did. I'm sure he'll watch this video and comment, be like, "Nah, Kane, what the hell are you talking about?" Yeah, I don't really know. So, yeah, I've been kind of into arcade games lately, like classic arcade games. I wrote a couple of pieces. One actually went up on Sifted, which you can read. Just sort of talking about the whole loot boxes thing that's going on right now, and sort of the way that I feel about it. Like, I can't fucking stand that games are putting these things in as part of a way to monetize them in lieu of just making a game that sells millions. But I understand it from the developer and publisher's perspectives, and I think it really does sort of harken back to the golden age of gaming. And with arcade machines, the whole point was to just take as much money from you as possible in the form of microtransactions, essentially. I mean, basically the whole point was to just take a quarter at a time, and just keep you involved. And Jesus Christ, it got really complicated really fast. And so yeah, I mean, I think well, the design of arcade cabinets too is, flashy. It's supposed to be designed so that you want to put your quarter in, and it's designed to frustrate you and keep you to keep playing, and so that you'll keep dumping money into it. I mean, that's the whole point, right? So modern games are just doing that same thing again. I mean, they're using the same tactics, you know, just like a slot machine. It bings at you, and you know, you've got these crazy graphics and all that kind of stuff. It makes you feel good when you get something popping out of those loot boxes. But to a certain extent, old arcade games did something similar. It's just more skewed towards the skill-based rather than the chance, which is something that I've always liked about gaming in general. I know barcades are a thing, and we've got a couple here in town, here in Vegas. They're more bars with just arcade machines in them. Sort of, Vegas has like its standard off-the-strip pub style setup. Like, you've got your poker machines that sit at the bar tops, and it's kind of hard to describe. You have to sort of be here and experience it. But there is like a definite Vegas pub. A lot of the bars have the same style. Even if they have different themes, you can expect, you know, this type of food will be on the menu. They'll have this much on draft. They'll have these kinds of bottles in terms of liquor. And I guess it's more catering towards the people that live here. It's just sort of the things that we expect as citizens of Vegas. Because contrary to popular belief, nobody that fucking lives here ever goes on the strip. It's just for tourists. I'm actually doing fucking horrible right now. It feels like I'm a lot farther than I am. I haven't even broken 1 million this time. The interesting thing about Geometry Wars is it takes that arcade aesthetic, but it also, like, all the enemy types have their own unique look and action. Like, they all behave differently, right? So you get to learn the behaviors of the different oh Jesus, I forgot about the black hole. So once you learn the behaviors of the different styles and the different colors, you start to get into a rhythm, and you're able to sort of predict, like, okay, where I need to be and stuff. It all seems very chaotic for people who've never played this game before, but really all it takes is maybe, I don't know, a half hour, 2 hours the most for you to kind of understand and get into a rhythm. And adventure mode's pretty cool for that. It sort of eases you into the different styles. There's different modes too. I prefer the classic modes myself, just because it's all about that high score. I was actually pretty high at one point. I haven't played this game in probably a year or two. But at that time, I was in the hundreds, getting my way up to close to double digits in terms of the leaderboards. And since then, I've dropped considerably. But certain levels, like in adventure mode, I have like really high scores. I'm not the best at this game by any means. I'm not that good. But it's kind of, I don't know, it feels good when you see your name and you've got, like, you know, double digits on that for the leaderboard. It's kind of fun. And I don't know if I'm competing against everybody that has Steam or if I'm just competing against the Linux users, but I have noticed that there's a couple of people that have like Linux in their name. I'm curious if my name shows up with Linux in it for everybody else. or if that was just somebody that put that in his username. The green ones, those green fucking shuriken looking motherfuckers, those are the worst. I fucking hate those. And here comes another wave, so I'm gonna waste another fucking supernova. So the thing that's annoying about those is they dodge your bullets so long as you're looking at them or close. They avoid your shots, and that's what's annoying. You kind of have to like be heading away from them and shooting backwards in order to hit them. I wonder if my video is going to get hit for content ID because of truck fighters in the background. They don't seem like they would be that kind of band, but I don't know what their publisher is like. I mean, they're a stoner rock band from Sweden. Seems like they'd be pretty chill. We'll see tomorrow, though. Should be cool. Should be a good show. There's actually a bunch of bands playing. It's supposed to be from 9 till 1. I can't tell you the last time that I was out until 1 o'clock at a bar. Chances are I will be extremely exhausted and tired by the time they even go on stage. But there's a band called Mothership, and then a few other bands that are going to be playing. I think there's like 4 or 5 bands total. I'm most interested in Truck Fighter. I had found them through another band that I like to listen to named Caius, which was Josh Holmes' first band. Maybe not his first band, but the band that sort of he started off in being a professional musician, I would say. And Truck Fighters are big fans of Caius, and I think that's one of the reasons they started making the type of music that they make, was sort of because they were into Fu Manchu and Caius and all these other stoner doom metal rock bands at the time. And there's actually a really good documentary about the Truck Fighters that talks about how they're the greatest cover band, like the greatest Caius cover band that never did Caius songs. And it's got interviews with Josh Homme, where he talks about, you know, how he found out about these guys and stuff. It's really fascinating if you're into this style of music. How the fuck did I even get to 6 billion? This game is one of those where like you just sort of fall into this zone of I don't know, and the multipliers help too. So like all the green shards that I'm picking up from all of the enemies, that's the times button at the bottom underneath my points. So like the more of those you get, the higher your score is going to be, I guess. 2 million, that's not bad. 2,072,000. So I gotta get I gotta get to 6,209,590 before the night is out. Which fuck. I don't know if that's gonna happen, guys. I'm gonna try. Let's try. Let's see if we can get there. So this particular Truck Fighters album we're listening to is called Phi, P-H-I. It's their third or fourth album. I want to say that it came out in 2010, 2011 maybe. But I'll have to look it up. I don't remember off the top of my head. Every once in a while you can catch a hint of Swedish accent in his voice in the vocals. I just think it's interesting. Sounds, I don't know, it's an interesting tonal quality, I guess, to the English lyrics. Which, another interesting thing about the band is like all their lyrics are in English, so it doesn't really matter that they're Swedish. I guess it's a bit like Def Leppard, you know? Alright, first death, but I've already gotten an extra life. So yeah, so many points you score, you do get an extra life. I think you can also score enough points to give yourself more supernovas. So like I have 4, you always start off with 3. So the blue enemies are the ones that I have no problem with them swarming me because they just have this really predictable follow you pattern. And their movement's pretty slow. They're not as fast as those pink ones, the one that I just destroyed. The gates, if you go through the gates when enemies are near, they will explode and die with the gates. Oh shit, son. Fuck. I totally could have had him. Move too quick, too fast. Yeah, let's just get rid of those guys right now. Shit. I'm losing it. Come on. Oh, that was not happening. It seems like it's totally random. Like I could have swore that there was like a predictable like pattern to the waves, but the more I play this, the more it changes. It seems like. Let's try something else. Let's try Deadline Classic. So in Deadline Classic right now, I only have 1,930 points, 930,515 points. This one's harder. 3 minutes. You can die as many times as you want, but the problem with dying is that it wipes the enemies and you lose all the points that you would have gotten from killing those enemies. So if you die and there's a shit ton of enemies on the screen, it's a shit ton of points that you just missed out on. Picking up the multiplier is super important too, because the more multiplier you get, the more points you can score. Come on, fucker. You can also be a little less sparing, I guess, with your supernovas because you've only got so much time, so kind of space them out like a minute apart, or try to anyway. Fuck me. course, it stands to reason I'm recording this, so I'm just fucking doing shit on camera. Let's see what I get by the end of this. See what I mean by the green guys? Like, they just keep dodging your shots. It's fucking annoying. Can't stand those guys. You kind of have to, like, pin them in a corner or catch them off guard. I don't know how their AI works exactly. Keep giving me the fucking green guys. My second least favorite enemy, the fucking pink boxes that rush at you and then split when you hit them. Let's wipe 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 1,422. That's pretty close. That's pretty close to my score right now. But as you can see, I'm 202nd on the leaderboard. Let me see if global. Jesus, 59 million. Fuck that guy. I don't even know how you get that high on this mode. Curious. I don't want to check the leaderboards on this one and see. 307 million. And the next guy isn't even close. JFV is like barely halfway over to even get to that. Wow. What do you need to get into the top 100? I'm curious. Alright, so to beat the guy that's in 100th place, you need 8 million. So with my 6,900, I'm actually not that far away from breaking into the top 100. I would be happy with that. I would totally be happy with that. That's awesome. What about top 50? Who's the guy in 50th place? What has he got? Why is that not working? Alright, so the guy in 50th place has 14,825,000. That might be doable. I think that's going to be my goal going forward. I probably won't do it on this video, but I think that's going to be my goal going forward. Here's Retro Evolved Classic. This is a lot harder because you don't have the multiplier. There's no... So you've got 3 lives. You can stay alive as long as you can with those 3 lives. But there's no... So there's no shards that pop off of these guys. So the only score that you get is just from killing the enemies. You still have the supernova though, so you can still use that. The pattern is different for the enemies too. Like you can see they're only popping up 2, 3 at a time, 4 at a time. Now they're going to start to speed up a little bit, but you're still only going to get like a couple on screen, so as long as you take care of them within a reasonable amount of time. And then when you reach a certain point, it'll start to get exponentially harder. But you can see I'm only up to 2,000. 2700, 2800. So, like, it takes a really long time to get up to just 100,000. Fuck you. You can kind of use the black holes to your advantage with certain enemies. And I think, I may be wrong, but I think if you can get enough enemies sucked into the black hole when you actually do destroy the black hole, you get more points. But somebody should confirm that, because I'm not really sure if that's the case or not. I haven't paid that close of attention. Alright, so you can see how it's progressively getting a lot more difficult, and I am only at 37,000. It's almost like the game knows, like, oh, you hate those green fuckers, don't you? So we're gonna throw a bunch of them at you. Oh my god. Fuck my life. Why? Also, I don't think on the classic evolves that you... I don't know if you can build up extra lives. Maybe you can, it's just the fact that you don't score very high limits you from getting extra lives in a certain amount of time. 68,000, I did fucking well on that one. Let's see what the leaderboard looks like on this one. 12 million. That's insane. Let's go back to Evolved Classic. I like the no time limit. It's I don't feel as pressured. And if you get into a groove, you can really start to rack up. I mean, that one guy. Where did I say he was at? I'll take a look at it when we get out of here. But it was just like ridiculous. 300 million points or some bullshit. Can't even imagine how he felt when he hit that, and I was like, oh my god, I'm number one. Right? Like, how is that possible? It's like the wizard. It's a Fred Savage reference for those of you who don't know. I might actually make this a two-part video. I might just do Atari Vault too. We'll see. Let's see what I can do on this run. This is actually, it's not turning out too bad, even though I died already. Sure, like, people who are really good at this game are like, oh, dude, you're using your supernovas, like, so quick, so early, the waves aren't even that hard. Get good, motherfucker. I'm sure. I feel like I'm decent. feel like I'm decent for having been drinking too. I don't even know what I'm at right now tonight. What I'm on. Oh fuck! Did not plan that out. I had to process that one for a minute. I was like, what enemy type is this? Oh, too slow. Shit. Yeah, how the fuck did I get 6 million? It's just that Zen mode. It's total Zen mode. I didn't even see him. Alright, I think I'm going to check this video and I will probably load up Atari Classic next. And yeah, we'll go from there. We'll make that the second part of this video. I'll see you guys in a few minutes.